This will be a watercolor painting of the Coquille River close to where it flows into the ocean. I've put some masking fluid down where I'm going to have highlights for the beach grass and a few highlights on a piece of driftwood. That masking fluid is dry, the paper is dry, and this is a 1/4 sheet size of watercolor paper. I want to have a nice big puffy cloud right here to kind of balance out the composition, because I have this beach grass over here, so I thought maybe a cloud here. We'll see. I know it's hard to see where, whoops, where I put the spray and where I didn't, but you'll be able to see soon enough. There we go. You can see where I touched the spray. It's going to give me some nice soft edges. I'm not working from a reference photo today. I'm just working from a painting that I did on location. And I kind of liked the painting, but I had a few mishaps when I did the painting, and so I've always wanted to do a studio version of it. So that's what I'm working on today. Lots of drama and mood in that sky. And I don't want it to just be all this kind of blue-gray. So while everything's still wet, I'm going to drop in a little variety of color there. Maybe even do that. Taking my time on the sky because this is a big part of this composition. The water is going to be treated fairly simple. And I think if I were to do too simple of a sky, it might just not have as much drama as what I'm hoping for. And change up the color and start getting more like a cerulean type of blue. Maybe even a little bit of turquoise in there. Whew, it's way too much purple. I love that purple, but it always gets me. I always get in trouble by using, picking up too much of it. Now this is a bit of a risk, but I'm going to go ahead and put in just a hint of a different color in the cloud shapes. You probably can't see that area very well, but I'm mixing kind of warmer color. It's a little bit on the violet side, and I'm just going to put it in. Not a whole lot. It's not going to take a whole lot. While the water's still damp, I'm going to put in some of the sand. And this is a lot of white gouache and a tiny bit of raw sienna. I think that's about right. It's a very neutral color, but it's on the warm side and it's light in value. The advantage to doing this while the water area is still damp is that I'm going to get a soft edge here. I can leave a little white of the paper where I might want a harder edge. But when I connect the two, I get a nice soft edge. And it just feels a bit more natural than painting it when it's dry and just going right up to the edge there. And that's fairly small. I think I want it to be a bit larger. Can always make mountains larger. It's just tough to make them smaller once you get them in place. Yeah, I think I like that look better. Move over to this piece of driftwood over here. I want to make sure I don't just fill it in with all one color. I'm going to keep it interesting. And also have a variety of value as well. The painting is almost done, and it's nice to put a matte on at this phase so that I can see it more as a finished painting and less as a work in progress. When I looked at the painting, I noticed a few shapes in the clouds that I'd like to adjust, and I'll try lifting some of the sky color with a magic eraser sponge. I'm not crazy about this long line here. I want to try to break that up. And then there's this dark shape here that is somewhat symmetrical coming down to a point. So I think what I'll do is eliminate that dark point and then perhaps bring this line up a bit, and that would lessen the symmetry. I might also pull this cloud a little more to the right hand side instead of having it just come down like that. You might want to extend it a bit. Now, as far as the foreground, I don't want to overwork it, but I feel like there's a few things that need to be done. One would be adding some warm color to the beach grass area. If I look at the colors without looking at the foreground, they're very cohesive to what I have going on up here. But then if I'm looking at just the grass in the foreground, I'm missing those warmer tones. So I went through my watercolor pencils. These are the Inktense pencils. And I pulled out some yellow ochre, raw sienna color. And I think that it's this yellow right here that will work for the beach grass. I'll try it, and if that doesn't work, I'll use one of the other colors. To lift this color right here, I just sprayed the tip of the magic eraser with water, and you can see it lifts pretty easily. I wanted to lift out this dark and kind of break up this line right here. Here's the finished painting. I had a lot of fun painting it, and I'm fairly happy with the way things turned out. I like the colors in the foreground, and I like the drama in the sky. I thought I would show you what I've been working from. This is the plein air painting that I did, and I've been using this as a reference rather than a reference photo. Now this painting, there are parts of it that I really like. I like the overall color scheme. I like this part of the painting. I think that this part really got away from me, and actually it did. I got interrupted. My dog Ellie was with me, and some people came by riding horses, and she has never been that close to a horse before. It was pretty scary. And so I stopped painting, and my painting was really wet right at here, and it was at an angle. And when I came back, this had just all dripped down, and I tried to turn it into something, and then I just stopped and considered this a study. But I do really like parts of it. I love the fresh quality that I can get from a plein air painting that is really hard for me to duplicate when I'm working in the studio. However, I do enjoy working from a painting more than I like working from a reference photo. So you can see the difference here. This is much more refined as far as the composition in the foreground, a completely different color scheme, which kind of surprises me because I wasn't really thinking about choosing completely different colors, but that's what happened today. Yeah, just, you know, just overall different in the sky, different cloud shapes, and it's really fun. I think that watercolor is so amazing that way because you just never know what you're going to get, and every painting is a new experience.